Hi everybody, this is Roberta Montagnini, and in today's video I will be showing you how I edited this image. Here is the before look, and here is the final look. I will show you how I edited in real time, so if you have any problems and you're not catching up, you can always pause and watch it in your own pace. So before I start, I'm gonna crop the image because I think I don't want to recompose the image and I don't want to expand the background. Initially I was going to add more flowers and leaves here, but since I'm gonna crop the image for Instagram, I'm just gonna use my crop tool and use the dimensions of 8 by 10 and just crop it, just because I think that will make my life easier. And if you have something similar, you can always do that as well. So I'm just gonna use the crop tool for this and position where I like it and hit enter as soon as I'm done. Right here. Yep, I like it, and that's it. It's done. So I think I like just might add some flowers here now. So for this, I'm gonna use my patch tool. And I'm just flattening the image here just so my background stays intact. So now I'm going to use the patch tool because I want to add some flowers in some areas. So you can see here, could benefit from having some flowers. So I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do this all over the background. I'm going to speed up so you don't have to see me doing this. I added all the flowers that I need and I think it looks good. Later on, I'm gonna add some smoke, so if there's any flower that doesn't look too believable, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna click here on my quick retouching setup. These actions will be available for sale on my website soon. I said this 2 weeks ago, but they aren't ready yet. So if you're interested, just keep checking on my store, on the store of my website, or just come here to this video. There will be a link on the description box below that you can just quickly go and access it and see when it's gonna be available. Starting now on my healing layer, I'm gonna get the healing brush tool so I can remove hair, flyaways, and things that shouldn't be where they are. I want the image to look as clean as possible, and I'm just gonna go and do that. I'm gonna remove here on her arm. There are some on her face as well, some on her cheek. So I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna speed the video so you don't have to watch me do this all around the image. So the removal of flyaways are done. I'm just gonna go now and try to fix her skin. So I'm looking for pores or some imperfections, and I'm just gonna go and clean around all the image. And I'm also gonna speed this because it's very tedious and you probably don't wanna watch me go all over her skin. So I've done everything I need on her skin. I'm just gonna clean here the floor a bit. I'm not gonna do a thorough job just because I'm gonna add a layer later and this is not gonna be visible. Okay, so now that this is done, I'm gonna zoom in on her face, and instead of using, the Dodge and Burn that is on the palette that I've just clicked, I'm gonna be using this Soft Light Dodge and Burn. And I'm just gonna click here. I'm gonna make sure I get my brush and then set my brush to white because I want to illuminate darker areas on her face. And I'm also gonna use my helper layer, black and white, so I don't have any color distractions while I'm, clearing her face. setting the opacity to 100% and the flow to 2%. I'm selecting a soft brush with hardness set at 0. And I'm gonna select the color white just because white is gonna brighten darker areas on her face. And after I'm done with white, I'm gonna be using the black color because I wanna enhance darker areas on her face. So you can just watch me, or you can speed up for maybe 2 minutes. And yeah, this can be quite tedious to watch, but it's fun to see the transformation. I really enjoy. So I like to lighten areas under the eyes. I like to brighten, the arch on eyebrows, some areas on the lips, some areas on the nose. And it's really personal how you do that, because what may be beautiful to me, it may not be beautiful to you. And it's okay to experiment and to let your imagination go wild. So now I'm selecting the dark brush because I'm going to be darkening and creating contour on her face and darkening areas that I think should look better dark. So I'm just enhancing, around her face, making her cheekbones more prominent, or maybe, the curve in between her, the top of her nose, that the area here. I don't know the name. So it's really up to you how you paint your image, how you do it. You're the artist. There isn't really a right or wrong. But if you like the way I edit, I normally use the black color on Dodge and Burn to enhance shadows, or make a cheekbone more prominent, or a collarbone more prominent. So it's really to make the image pop. This is how I use it, but you can use the way you want it. My other recommendation is to not forget the entire body. Don't just pay attention in the face. If you're working on the hands, make sure the knuckles, if you like the way I edit, I like to lighten the knuckles so the skin tone is all seamless, it's all even. This is how I do. So don't just stay on the face. Go ahead and now check if her legs are overexposed or underexposed, and you make your own your own call, your own judgment. So if certain areas need to be bright, you lighten it, and it's okay to experiment with something new. You never know, you might discover something we haven't seen before. So now I'm just gonna hide my black and white layer, bring the colors back, and you can see the image in color. And here on my soft light dodge and burn layer, you can see how much I have painted on the image. And if I just click, before and after, you can see how much it was just done with dodge and burn. This technique is wonderful, and you can go and experiment and try for yourself. Now that the layer is in full color, I can see some imperfections I missed while the layer was in black and white, like here on her foot. Like the color of her foot is lighter than her leg. So I just want to make sure everything is even. And I'm just going to go past the brush again all over her body using the dark brush for dodge and burn, and just make sure everything is even. I really enjoy using dodge and burn, but most of all, I like clicking before and after so I can see how much I have done. So I think we also need to go now to color correct. I'm going to zoom in close to her face because I think her nose needs some attention. When she was here doing her makeup, we did like a test makeup just to try something different. But I think the makeup on her nose is very close to her skin, so it looks a bit distracting. So I'm just going to fix that. I'm going to use the color fix layer. And I'm just gonna get a brush and sample a color near the area that I want to replace, and I'm just gonna brush it away, and I'm gonna make sure I go, through all her face where I think it needs to have some treatment. Just note though, now that I'm brushing here, you can see that the highlights on her nose turned yellow. I'm just gonna show you in a second how to fix that. Now to fix the highlight on her nose, you're gonna have to click on Photo Filter, this one here, and you select the color blue, and you have to play with the density just to make sure you have the right shade. So you just play with it, and then you get your invert your layer, get your white brush to paint on the black, and then you're gonna reveal the color below of your color filter. If it's wrong, then you might have to adjust. So let's see. Oh, it's a bit purple. So the color is not right, but a way to fix this is to click back on your filter and then reduce the density maybe. Not sure. Let's try changing the color. I think a lighter color may be better. So I'm gonna pick here a lighter blue. I'm gonna drag this down a bit and play with the density. Oh, I think now we get it. Now, yeah, that's cool. Now it looks just like the highlight we had before, because the highlights on her face were cool, even though her skin tone is warm. So I just had a quick look through to see if I haven't missed anything. And I think we're now ready to frequency separation. I'm gonna click this button and my frequency separation is gonna be created right now. And before I forget, this frequency separation that I'm using here is available for free on my website for you to download. You can use and abuse it, just please don't sell it, all right? So I'm gonna start now by painting. I'm gonna select a brush and set my brush to 20% and my opacity, so flow and opacity 20%, and I'm just gonna be painting around her skin, like if I'm applying a light coverage foundation on her face. Her skin is really good, so there isn't a lot to be done, but still, I just wanna make sure everything is, seamless and even. I think on her face, I'm pretty much done. But don't forget the body, you know, just don't focus on the face. You need to go through the entire body, zoom out, make sure you're covering every aspect, you know, every location, every inch of the skin. Just make sure you see it, in if there is a need to fix it, you fix it. So I want to give you another tip. So if you're building a portfolio, you're not at that stage in your life that you're comfortable with your work and with your Photoshop technique, I would say invite models or people, doesn't need to be professional models, invite people that has good skin, that you can work on their skin very lightly. This way you build like confidence so you can work with more challenging skin types. For example, someone that has acne and wants the acne removed, or someone that needs some different kind of treatment. You know, some people request, oh, can you make my stomach a little bit smaller? So there's always something you can do and learn, and it's a stage. You're not going to be proficient with Photoshop overnight. It does take time. I started using Photoshop 20 years ago. I was still like, you know, a child, and there are still things to me that are new, and I learn every time I use. I always, oh, this is kind of new, you know. I follow YouTube as well. And I'm also always checking Instagram and checking other people's work to see what they're doing, to find inspiration so I can, you know, do better in the things that I do. I think now you're almost finished with frequency separation. I was going to say dodge and burn. You can see here before and after. I think there's some work that needs to be done around her knee. And I'm just going to go through some areas that I think needs adjustment. But I think we're almost done. I think it's almost it. Now I'm going to zoom in close to her eye, and I'm just going to make sure that white of her eyes are white or whiter, so they look a little bit more punchier. And I think I'm going to change her eyes to blue as well. Not that she needs, but I just want to create something more magical and different. Now I'm going to select the spot healing brush to fix the eye veins. I don't know if you can see it. It's not going to be visible most of the time because the images are so small when you view them online, but I'm just going to remove for the sake of it. And I'm going to try removing here on the other side, see if it works. Oh, no, it doesn't work. I'm going to try using the stamp tool. Let's see if that fixes it. I'm going to select a whiter color here on this side. And oh no, it looks terrible. I think I'm gonna go back here to the healing brush and try. Oh no. Clone stamp tool, maybe. Is it working? Gonna zoom in close. Now I'm gonna use the brush, just a regular brush. Just select some color. Just make sure the opacity is not 100%, and you just paint and brush away. I think that's great. Nobody's gonna see that. It's so small. Yeah, it looks perfect. So retouching wise, I think we are done right now. So I'm really excited because I'm going to be adding some clouds to create like that smoky effect. So I'm going to use a brush. I downloaded this brush. I think it was on Brush Easy, something like this. It was a free website. I downloaded like many years ago, and I still have it saved on my hard drive. So I'm just going to create a blank layer, and I'm going to select the brush tool. Make sure the opacity and the flow is set to 100%. Make sure you also select the color white, and I'm just going to pick a random cloud that I think will work. And on this empty layer with the color white, I'm going to just make sure the brush fits within the size. And oh my god, the brush is not selected. I'm gonna select this one here. So, oh, no, the brush is not selected. Brush now, sorry. So brush is selected, color is white. I'm on the right layer, am I? Yeah. So just make sure the brush fits the background, and then you can just increase it, make it bigger like this. I'm just gonna place it right here. I'm gonna tilt a bit, and there isn't, a right placement. It's just what feels right for you. If you like it there, just leave it there. I'm gonna create another layer. I'm gonna do this a few times. It's so small, these thumbnails. I can't even see the cloud. I like this one. Let's make it bigger. I'm gonna place it here. Yep, I like it, but it needs more. Let's duplicate that one here. So even if you duplicate, because they are so textured, it's not gonna make any difference. It doesn't gonna look like it's mirrored or something. Even because later on, I'm gonna select them all like this. I'm gonna create a mask, and I'm gonna select a black brush now because I wanna delete some of the texture, just because I think it's too big. And I'm gonna select also a brush because I'm gonna delete brush with cloud, if that makes sense. And we're just gonna select the black color because black cancels the white here on the mask. And I'm just gonna brush in a few areas. My computer now might stop because I don't know, somehow when I'm recording the video and I'm using a custom brush, it's just, I don't think 64 gigabytes of RAM is enough. So I'm just gonna be erasing some areas. You know, make sure your brush is set to a low flow so you don't lose the smoke or the cloud in one click. You just want to create some dimension with it. But I think I'm gonna add some more clouds. So I'm gonna just play around. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Just watch me and it's gonna turn out good in the end. So let's check the before and after. Let's see how it's looking. Yep. See? Oh my God, the difference. But I want to give this a nighttime. So I'm going to double click my group and I'm going to select here gradient overlay. Oh, and I already have the color right there because I used in a previous image. So I just have to hit enter. It's like a lilac color going to a darker purplish. So okay, I'll hit okay. And yeah, I really like it. So nice when it's already there for you. You know, the colors. I'm going to add more clouds because why not? Now I'm going to create a gradient map and I'm going to set the opacity to 36% and I'm going to select linear light and then, sorry, soft light. And then I'm going to click here and then here and I'm just going to pick a tone that I like. I always like these three here at the bottom, you know, on the corner. I don't know. I have to eyeball this. I don't know which one I like the most. This, I think this, yes. Okay, and now I'm gonna play with selective color. I always play with the neutrals and the blacks, mostly. Just gonna, I want it to give like a nighttime, so I have to play with the tones a bit. So I'm color grading slightly. Actually, I'm color grading full on. So just play with these switches here until you find the one you like the most and you should be done. I think it's looking quite beautiful. I know beauty is subjective, but to me it looks nice. And I'm gonna create a curves layer right here, and I'm gonna make a you know, an S for sugar shape, just so I get to see the highlights on the clouds. And I'm gonna invert the layer as well, so it's black. So Command I or Control I. I'm gonna get a soft round brush. and set the brush to white because my mask layer is black. And I'm just gonna paint in certain areas just to enhance the light of the clouds, just to create dimension, you know, as if the clouds were present in the room and the lights were hitting at different way, you know, because if the cloud was thicker somewhere or if there was some shade, you know, you get the point. I did have a smoke machine. It was there working, but somehow it didn't photograph well. I could barely see it. I don't know if on this particular image I did have the smoke cloud going on, you know, the smoke machine going on, but it didn't really work well. I had higher expectations for it. So I'm going to group these layers here because I just saw something that I want to fix. I'm going to group these. Actually, I'm going to rename this to smoke just because I can hide it. And now right above this layer, I'm going to create an empty layer so I can fix this gap. It's really bothering me. I don't know how I didn't see this before, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes you are at the end of the image and that's when you see it. So I'm going to make a selection of the area that I want to fix, and I'm just going to drag here, which I think I can replace that gap with that. So I'm going to go now to the bottom layer, which is my background. I'm going to just duplicate it and just going to place it. Oh, I can't see it. Wait a second. Why is not working? Oh, that's why it didn't work, because it was under the invisible smoke layer. So I'm just gonna put it over here, and now I'm gonna fix it. So it doesn't look as bad right now, but I think I'm gonna increase here before. I think it's good, and I'm gonna create a soft again, a soft layer dodge and burn, and I'm gonna create some hair strands by making my brush really small, and I'm just gonna create some highlights, like pretending, you know, that it's real hair. Just gonna brush it over like this. So I'm gonna just find a way to fix this. Just keep watching. I'm gonna get it. I think it's looking a little bit good. I'm gonna select my eraser now, and I'm just gonna select also a round brush here, soft round, so I can delete the erase the edges of the brush of the, you know, the hair I just painted, so it looks more realistic. I'm just gonna keep brushing with my brush now set to white, and I'm gonna add some darker hairs too by using the black brush on this soft dodge and burn layer, soft light dodge and burn layer. Zooming out, it looks good. I think that's good. Look, I know if you've seen this image before, you wouldn't even think the hair was edited. So I know it is fake because I've done it, but I think it looks pretty realistic if you didn't know what I did. Am I right? I'm gonna put my clouds back like this. And what will I do? So I'm gonna see if I add, I'm just now gonna play with the tones, some color filters over it. I'm gonna try the magenta. Let's see what effect it gives me. Maybe the blue. I think the blue is quite nice. Let me see if I change the this to maybe something. No, I think I'm just gonna keep it as it is. And I'm gonna give her some eye color treatment. You don't have to do this, but you can. So to do that, you can do with this tool, with a curve, make it very bright. And then you invert and get a brush and set your brush to 10% flow. And you're just gonna paint under like this. Look at that crazy alien eye. And I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Now I'm gonna just paint it better because I'm not happy with this painting job here. I'm gonna make sure all the edges look good. The same here on the side. Okay, this is the eye tone. I can add the hue and saturation over it, and let's see if that works. And it just clipped on there. Let's see if I color it does work. And now I can just pick the color of the eye I like the most. I like this kind of bluish green. I'm just going to reduce the saturation a bit. Now here on this layer, I'm going to remove the opacity a bit more, just so the eyes are bright, but not so much. Actually look too green now. Let me go back and I make it more blue. Yeah, I think like this. Now I'm going to create another layer, soft light, and I'm gonna get my white brush close to her eye. Just gonna add some like light to it. See, I think that's pretty good. I like it. You don't have to do the eyes if you don't want. So this here will be the eyes. Just gonna name it. Create so many layers. So if you want the eyes, fine. If you don't do it. Now, if you want to add makeup as well, you can do with the soft light again. So to do makeup, if you want her lips to have a different color, just go here on this color palette, maybe pick like a pink to start. It's going to be too garish, but you're going to see what you're doing. Select your brush, make sure both flow and opacity set to 100. And now you just paint on her lip like this. Okay, the color is done. Now let's pick a shade that also looks nice. I'm gonna clip the hue and saturation on the layer I just painted pink, which is her lip. And now I'm gonna select hue and saturation, and I'm just gonna play with the hue which tone I think looks nice. Oh, this purple looks beautiful. Let me see. Pink. Oh, I like this one. I think this tone. So now I'm gonna zoom in close. I'm gonna try to reduce the opacity, the saturation a bit, so it's not too pink. I think this tone is great. I'm happy with this. Now, soft light again over it. I'm gonna get my brush set to black just because I want to create some shading next to her lip. I'm gonna set the flow to 2%, and now I'm going to paint like that. So I add some shadow on her lip, so it doesn't look like I just painted the the color lipstick on her. Now with the white, I'm just going to increase the brightness here on her lip. I think this gives like a little punch on the makeup, makes it look more visible, and like it has that delicious kind of look. It's a good lipstick. Now I'm gonna just shade a bit more here. And I'm gonna delete some areas because I think I bled a little bit here. Now with my white brush again, just gonna add some more highlights on her makeup. So I think here her eyes could benefit for some shimmer. The arch of her eyebrows, here over her eyelid, under, in the middle, the same here. My antivirus has successfully been installed, the update. Okay. Oh, I think it looks gorgeous. I think it looks very nice. So last step, is this the last step? Could I fix her eyebrows, add some more lashes? Probably I'm gonna add some more lashes. So just like a blank layer, select your hard brown pressure size brush, and maybe pick a small size, maybe smaller than this, like the size of an eyelash, and set your brushes to 100%. Now select the color you want, and you just paint like this. You just brush. Now, to get this precise look the way I'm doing, you need to have a graphic tablet. I use Wacom, the latest model. The previous model I used a head as well, but I changed to this one because it's much better. The other one didn't have good Wi-Fi connection. It was always lagging, but this one here, it's great. See before and after. So all this retouch that I did here was all on a, it was a non-destructive layer. You can see here the before and after with the retouch, which I'm very happy with, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And I think that's it. This one here, I hope this video was recorded fully. I hope you enjoyed this little overview of how I retouched this image. And if you would like to see more content like this, don't forget to leave your comments in the description box below. If you have any suggestions or anything you would like to say, please use the description box below. Don't forget to be kind to each other and with me as well. And yeah, that's it. I hope I can create more videos for you to watch. If you like this video, don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye now, guys.